A few days ago, my game looked like this, and now it actually feels like a real game. The idea is pretty simple. It's just pinball. You hit things and you get points. So I started by building the playfield and getting everything into place, which already didn't go as planned. Wait a minute. What? That's not even close. My ball disappeared. Okay, it works. Never mind. Now it doesn't go up at all. Okay, wait. And then it finally worked. The launcher works, the ball is bouncing, and there's even a score system now. But the flippers, they just didn't work. The left flipper was broken. I tried using the same setup for both, but one of them was flipped the wrong way. So I just made them separate, and that fixed it. It's not the cleanest solution, but it worked. Now that the core mechanics are working, I wanted to make it actually look better. So first, I needed a better playfield. So I looked some real pinball tables for reference. I also noticed these triangle shapes above the flippers on almost every table, so I figured they must have some kind of purpose. So I added them in. Then I added some bumpers with different score values. And finally, some more bumpers to keep the ball moving. I also tried making my own pixel numbers for the score, but actually implementing them was harder than I expected. So I ended up just using normal font instead. Next, I added collision for the whole map, so everything actually works properly. After that, I set up the flippers, added them to the map, and tested everything with just a ball. No bumpers. It looked fine at first, but after testing a bit more, the ball would sometimes just go through the walls, and it would just glitch. So I looked up and just increased the physics tick rate. After that, I added all the bumpers with their own score and collision and tested everything. But it still felt like something was missing. So I added a score pop-up for each hit, a ball counter to track your remaining lives, and a simple respawn system when the ball falls out. I also added a gate to stop it from rolling back into the launcher. And that's basically it for now. Looking back at this, there's still a lot I could improve. The code is pretty messy, and I definitely overcomplicated some things. I also feel like there's a better way to structure things, especially with collision and scripts. But I got a lot more comfortable working with notes, scripts, and signals. And I even got a bit better at pixel art. I also learned that art takes way more time than I expected. There's still a lot to learn, but this is a really good start. But I don't want to stop here. I don't want this to just be a normal pinball game. I want to turn it into something more like a roguelike, where each run feels different, and you have to reach a certain score to win. Where the game slowly gets harder, and you have to adapt. I also want to add different balls, like for example a bomb that explodes, that gives you a lot more score. Some that completely change how you play. In between rounds, you go into a shop, an arcade theme shop, where you can buy upgrades, multipliers, or things that change how your run plays out, with tickets. So every run feels a bit different, and you're always trying to push your score higher. It's basically inspired by Balatro, but in pinball form. Maybe even with a small theme, like trying to escape some kind of pinball hell. But even now, this already feels very different from what I made before. My first game was just a simple platformer. Then I made a small dungeon prototype. But both of those were still just experiments. So this is the first time I'm actually trying to make something with a clear purpose. When compared to those, this already feels like an actual game. And that's where this video ends. Going from a rough prototype to something that actually feels like a real game. And a clear idea of where I want to take it next. I'm actually really excited to keep building this and share the whole process. If you have any ideas for how to turn this into a roguelike or how to make it better, let me know in the comments. Now it's time to actually build it.